The News 4 Rundown starts now.
We begin tonight remembering the life and the legacy of music icon and philanthropist Dolly Parton. The country music star passed away today at the age of 80. Thanks for joining us for the News 4 Rundown. I'm Sean Yancey. Yep, the little girl from the Tennessee mountains who grew up with so little became a woman who gave the world so much. Tributes are pouring in Dolly's hometown and all across the country. Her body of work goes far beyond her wildly popular anthems, Jolene and I Will Always Love You. She gave us movies and a world-renowned theme park. But Dolly's greatest legacy may have been what she gave away, millions of books to children, including some in our area, and millions of dollars to causes she believed in.
And of all the things that I've done in my life, and there's been a lot, because I've been around a long time. But this is one of the most precious things and the proudest I am of any program that I've ever been involved in my life, is working with the little kids.
That was Dolly returning to the Library of Congress to celebrate a major milestone for her literacy program, the Dollywood Foundation Imagination Library. The program donated 100 million free books to children worldwide. Dolly read her children's book, Coat of Many Colors, to local students. NBC's Chloe Malas walks us through the country legend's incredible life.
On the radio,
there is no such thing as natural beauty.
on the screen,
We've got chocolate and yellow cake mix.
and even in the baking aisle. Dolly Parton did it all. Singer, songwriter, actress, philanthropist, businesswoman.
I was my own woman from day one.
Here you come again. In her lifetime, Parton wrote and performed over 3,000 songs, 25 of them #1 hits. Dolly Parton's road to superstardom began in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in 1946. The fourth of 12 children, Parton described herself as dirt poor. My coat of many colors. Those modest roots and her actual childhood coat inspired hit songs like Coat of Many Colors. She started performing at church, and at age 13, Parton appeared at the Grand Ole Opry. After high school, she moved to Nashville. 3 years later, she scored her first hit single and was on her way. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Amazingly, Parton penned 2 of her most famous songs in one burst of creativity.
We were looking through my files to get all my old cassettes when they were putting them on the hard drive. Jolene and I Will Always Love You were on the same cassette. Wow. So that must have been a really good night.
And while Parton sang a version of I Will Always Love You that reached #1 on country charts, it was Whitney Houston's version of her song that made history. With over 24 million copies sold, it remains one of the best-selling singles of all time.
And Hart wants me to take papers to his lawyer. I'm going to be gone all afternoon.
In 1980, Parton made her foray into films, co-starring in 9 to 5 at the suggestion of Jane Fonda. More films followed, including Steel Magnolias in 1989. In her hometown of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, she opened Dollywood, a successful theme park, and she launched a childhood literacy program, providing free books to children, mailing up to 2 million books globally each month. Though she was long famous for her blonde wigs, in the end, Parton was best known for her body of work and the legions she inspired. Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Developing tonight, new threats from the Trump administration regarding the Kennedy Center. In a new court filing, a Justice Department attorney argued that without the planned renovations, the Kennedy Center could eventually be demolished. News 4's Jackie Benson has more on the threat and what it means for the arts institution.
We have new reaction from the Kennedy Center. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, take a look over there. You can see that elaborate tarp still covers the facade, the space where President Trump's name was removed after a federal judge told the administration it did not have the right to put it there. In a court filing in this case today, lawyers for the administration, for the first time, threatened to demolish the Kennedy Center if the arts institution is not allowed to follow its plans for the site. That includes adding President Donald Trump's name to the front of the building and closing it for 2 years for renovations. Justice Department Attorney Brantley Mayers wrote in a court filing, without those efforts, the center will deteriorate further into an unsafe, decrepit structure that will be required to be taken down, with a determination to follow on what to build on the site, such as a large outdoor amphitheater overlooking the Potomac River. Last May, then Kennedy Center President Rick Grinnell referenced this during a speech at a White House dinner.
I have to tell you, President Trump is actually saving the Kennedy Center because there is discussion right now of whether or not to take it down. The deferred maintenance of the Kennedy Center is criminal. It has been terrible. Mr. President, we said today in our board meeting, our great new CFO went through the 24 and 25 budgets of the Kennedy Center and found $26 million in phantom revenue, fake revenue.
News 4 has received a statement from a Kennedy Center spokesperson. It reads, "This language describes a hypothetical scenario of what could happen if the center's desperately needed renovation is blocked by partisan interests." So the latest from here at the Kennedy Center. Jackie Benson, News 4.
Also developing tonight, a Montgomery County school bus driver was killed in a crash this afternoon. Investigators believe the driver likely experienced some sort of medical emergency and crashed into a pole right near Poplarwood Place and Central Avenue in Gaithersburg. Fortunately, no students were on board at the time. Today was the first day back to class for students in Montgomery County. In Prince George's County, 3 people were hurt in a violent crash in Brandywine. According to law enforcement, it started as a traffic stop that turned into a police pursuit and ended with this horrific crash. News 4's Darcy Spencer has the latest.
This horrific crash caused major backups here off of 301 in the Brandywine area of Prince George's County. The road has reopened, and now the Maryland Attorney General's office has taken over this investigation. Now, this is all initial information. About 10:30 this morning, the Charles County Sheriff's Office initiated a traffic stop, and that's according to law enforcement sources. And at one point, the driver took off, and there was a pursuit. A car that was being chased at one point on northbound 301 crossed the median into the southbound lanes and hit 2 vans, one of them head on. This was near McKendree Road in the Brandywine area. We're told there were 2 critical injuries and 1 person was seriously hurt. The AG's office is investigating because this was an officer-involved crash. We're also told that a person in the car that was being pursued was wanted in Arlington County. This is, again, preliminary information. This created major traffic backups in the area. We spoke to several drivers who were stuck in the backup.
I literally only live maybe like 1 minute away from here, literally 1 minute away. And it took me about 30 minutes just to come up here to get gas. And so I still have to go to the store after this. So I don't know how I'm going to get out of this gas station. I'm probably going to be here for a while, but I'm hoping that everybody's okay.
So how long should it have taken you to get here?
Like 5 minutes.
And it took 45?
Yes, 45. It's that bad.
Sit here and wait. Hey, no use complaining.
I'm late for my mom, actually. I'm on my way to my mother's right now. So I had to detour, come around behind Wawa, so now I'm here.
The Maryland Attorney General's office is expected to release additional information, including more on what may have led up to this crash in the coming days. In Brandywine, Darcy Spencer, News 4.
Today was the first day of the new school year for nearly 160,000 students in Montgomery County, Maryland. Students will experience a number of changes this year, including that brand new cell phone policy that bans student use of cell phones from bell to bell. Our Megan McGrath spoke with some high school students this morning to see how they feel about the change.
Honestly, in terms of the cell phone policy, I think it's a good initiative, and honestly, it's a bit worrisome. But that being said, the results are actually going to just depend on how it's enforced.
In addition to the new cell phone policy, there are new security measures, meaning more cameras are now in place, and school lunch prices also increased by 30 cents. The first day of school in Prince George's County got off to a rough start. This morning, bus routes still had not been assigned for 10,000 students. Tonight, the school district admits it did not meet expectations. News 4's Dominique Moody is working for you. He spoke with frustrated parents and explains what the school district wants parents to do before the second day of school.
We've been with the school district. This is now our 5th year, and this is the worst I've ever seen it.
Only to find out that the day before school, there's no school bus. And so now we as grandparents, caretakers, moms and dads have to scramble up to figure out what we're going to do for the first day of school.
Linda Sidney says her grandson had been waiting for weeks for his very first day of school in kindergarten. She says his new chapter is now an unforgettable experience.
He was looking forward to getting on the big yellow bus where the wheels go round and around, right? This is what he's telling us. So he was excited, and unfortunately that didn't happen this morning.
Sidney says after not receiving a bus assignment for the last 3 weeks and during orientation on Monday, she decided it was best to take her grandson to school to avoid transportation issues like the ones Liz Chamberlain says her 2 kids experienced today. The mom of 2 PGCPS students says she was relying on the school system's bus tracking app, Chipmunk, to track the location of her kid's bus.
But we decided around 8 a.m. to drive because nothing showed up in the app, and actually the app wasn't even working. We ended up waiting in line about 30 minutes just to pull into the school campus, and then we were there for another 30 minutes. I eventually got our kids out and just walked them to the front door instead of waiting for the pickup line.
According to Prince George's County Public Schools, they have more than 75,000 bus riders. At least 88% of students were routed today, leaving 12% without, meaning roughly 10,000 students are still waiting to be assigned bus routes. Despite that, school leaders say they had a rough start this morning.
The Chipmunk app did have a failure this morning. Our message to families is that we will do better. We didn't meet our expectations today. We had students, our goal is to have every student arrive on time and safely.
PGCPS says the app failed due to the amount of subscribers that signed up for service in the last few days. According to the school system, they are working to ensure students are assigned a bus route while augmenting their bus tracking system. Meantime, parents say after weeks of planning, they're hoping for a safe and efficient solution for the rest of the school year. The school system says until the problems are resolved, they offer this advice for families. The county is asking parents to go online and look up routes for buses near their homes until school leaders can properly assign their route.
The kids have a prosperous school year, and that our kids can go into the education system safely learning. No harm, no danger.
In Prince George's County, Dominique Moody, News 4.
Still to come tonight on the News 4 Rundown, the creativity of dozens, hundreds of women will be on full display at National Harbor this weekend for the Black Girl Art Show. The curator and founder of the show will join me live after the break to explain what you can expect and why a show like this is so important. Plus, work deep under Union Station in the Amtrak tunnels will cause some major disruptions for commuters, when it's set to begin, and how long it will last. Doug?
We saw another beautiful day out there on our Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday, and I think we have a pretty wonderful Wednesday as well. I'll be tracking a chance, though, more heat moving our way and a better chance for storms later this week as well, coming up.
The brilliance and creativity of dozens of women will be on display this weekend at National Harbor. In today's For the Art, we're taking you inside the Black Girl Art Show. It's a traveling exhibition that celebrates the work of Black women visual artists from all around the country and right here in the D.C. region. The show's founder, Joshua Love, joins us now live. Josh, it's good to see you again.
Yes, it's good to see you, Sean. Thank you.
We know there are all kinds of exhibitions for artists all over the world. Why did you create one specifically for Black women?
Well, you know what? I moved to Atlanta about 12 years ago and noticed there were so many Black women artists that I knew personally, but they weren't seen and celebrated in the way that I knew that they should be. And, I took a chance to do a group exhibition with maybe 20 artists, and over 500 people came out, which surprised me, but it also told me that there was a need, there was a gap in the marketplace for Black women artists to be seen and celebrated. And, it's been 6 years and over 6,000 artists from all around the world have walked through our doors. Over 100,000 people have been impacted by the show. And, we're excited to come back to the DMV area this Saturday.
We're looking forward to it. The show we know is Saturday from 3 to 9 right at the Gaylord National Harbor. What can visitors expect when they arrive? Because this is not just about art that you see hanging on the wall. Tell us what we'll experience.
Absolutely. So I always look at Black Girl Art Show as more than just an art show. It's so much more than that. We love to call it a homecoming for the creative home girl. but it is part gallery, it's part celebration, it's part family reunion. A collector may come in and find a piece that lives in their family for generations. An artist may make their first sale that changes their career, or a young Black girl may see herself reflected in a way that expands what she believes is possible. And so everybody's going to walk through the same door, but everybody's going to leave with something different.
Tell us about some of the artists featured this year. Do you have some artists that are from the D.C. region who will be participating?
Absolutely. And so with every show, you know, the majority of those artists are from that particular area. So about 70% of them are from the DMV area, and then about 30 are coming from across the world. And so you'll definitely see, so if you're in the DC area, you'll probably see some familiar faces.
So we're looking at some video from one of the previous shows, and we see a performer who is playing a guitar and singing. So in addition to seeing some of the visual artists who are painting things, will you also have performers there as well?
Absolutely. And so for us, art is all the ways that we express ourselves. It's primarily a visual art show, but we tend to invite performing artists, from singing to instrumentalists. And you also taste some delicious food, cocktails. For me, the biggest canvas is the canvas of the community. When I see people connecting and collaborating through conversation and connection, that to me is the real art.
That is awesome. Just real quick, for anybody watching right now, how can they get tickets?
Yep, Black Girl Art Show at blackgirlartshow.com.
All right, Joshua Love, founder of the Black Girl Art Show. Thanks so much for joining us, and we wish you guys all the best this Saturday.
Thank you so much. Bless.
And again, the Black Girl Art Show, Saturday, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Gaylord National Resort at National Harbor. You can visit their website, blackgirlartshow.com, for more information and tickets. All right, we have a commuter alert to tell you now for anyone who is planning to take Amtrak or VRE from October 16th through October 26th. There won't be any Amtrak or VRE service between Union Station and Virginia during that time because of rail work. Shuttle buses will be used to help riders get around, so you can expect delays on trips to places including Alexandria, Richmond, Roanoke, and Point South. Now, Amtrak Northeast Corridor service from D.C. up to Baltimore, Philly, New York, and Boston will not be affected. Parents have a brand new way to check on their kids when they're taking an Uber. The company is launching live video streaming for teen accounts. The feature allows parents to view the teen's ride in real time through the front-facing camera on the driver's phone. Parents will receive a notification when the trip begins, and they can watch the ride in the Uber app. By the way, teen accounts already have live trip tracking, PIN verification, and audio recording. Well, it was a beautiful day across the region today, a terrific Tuesday or something like that. We all want to know, though, are more beautiful days ahead. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Doug Kammerer to find out. Hey, Doug.
It really was a great day all across our area. Started off very cool. Many of us started off in the mid-50s, one of the coolest mornings we've seen in about the last 2 months. And it warmed up nicely today up to a high of 85. Still looking good out there right now. A temperature of 80 degrees. Little bit of a heat index, but not much. Dew point still below 60. That'll change tomorrow. We'll start to see a little bit more heat and a little bit more humidity, although it still won't be all that bad. Temperatures right now, 77 at Gaithersburg and Leesburg, 79 Martinsburg, 81 right now in Culpeper, and along the water, Patuxent River and Annapolis coming in 78, 79 degrees. So looking good there too. Now, as far as rain is concerned, we're not going to see any chance of rain right over the next 24 hours or so, but I do think we'll start to see it during the day on Thursday. Tracking a storm system farther to the west. Right now, we're watching a system that's coming through. Notice the clouds moving from north to south. That, of course, a cooling direction, but the warm air back towards the west, and it has really been building here. Temperatures today, once again, around Dallas, well over 100 degrees in that area. We've been on the cooler side of things. That cool air starts to retreat a little bit back up into Canada. For us, this still gives us a nice little trough tomorrow into the day Thursday and Friday, but that gives us a better chance of storms out there as well. The heat building back to the west will start to make its way our way as we make our way through the weekend and especially into early next week. I do think the first couple of days of September will be quite hot. We could even be in the mid-90s depending on how much of this heat moves our direction. Let's hope not. Okay, as we move on through the night tonight, by the time we get to 11, we're already in the 60s in most locations. So if you walk outside right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. Nice evening around the area. By tomorrow morning, temperatures in the low 60s by 8 o'clock. A little bit warmer than we were this morning, but still a very nice start to the day. High temperatures, though, back into the 80s for everybody, and I think the mid-80s for most of us. 86, I'm actually going 87, 88 in D.C., so it is going to be a little bit warmer. Still not a lot of humidity, but you'll notice there is a little bit more tomorrow. That humidity really increases overnight into Thursday morning. Notice Thursday morning by 7:30 in the morning, we're already into the low 70s. You'll feel that humidity through the day. Temperatures getting into the 80s as we make our way in towards the afternoon. And then watch this. The strong area of storms makes its way in just in time for the evening rush. That's right along the I-95 corridor, right around 6 o'clock. And once again, some of these storms could be strong to severe. I'm not anticipating a huge severe weather day, but it is something we'll continue to track for you out there on your Thursday. And it is the best chance of rain we have in the next couple of days. 87 on Thursday, 87 on Friday. Chance of a shower or storm on Friday, too, but most of us stay dry here. I do think the weekend, for the most part, will be dry. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm here, but the chance is very low. But look at the heat coming back just in time for September to begin. Temperatures into the 90s. Right now I'm going 93 on Tuesday. Let's hope that doesn't get any hotter than that. It could definitely be on the warmer side. We'll track that as well as the storms for Thursday over the next couple of days.
All right. We will be right back after this short break. As the training camp portion of the preseason comes to an end, the Commanders are working through plenty of injuries, and they're prepping for a trip up north for a joint practice with the Ravens. Team insider J.P. Finley has the latest from Ashburn.
Training camp, it's officially over. You can see they're working on the fields. They're taking down the grandstands that the fans were sitting in. And so what's going on in Ashburn? It's a bit of a work in progress. The Commanders are dealing with a lot of injuries all over the field. And ahead of Wednesday's joint practice in Baltimore, it's not exactly clear what players are going to be on the field, and certainly not for Friday night's preseason game. But all eyes are on week one at this point against the Eagles when the games count. Dan Quinn's just trying to get from here to there.
Most teams are going through, the training camp process of guys being out. Had it been a regular season game, I would say a number of these players would say, okay, they're going to go and do it. But I think when you're in this space, the smart play is to think of all the games that you're going to be playing.
And while Washington's handling all these injuries, they still have a joint practice against the Ravens. So what constitutes success in Baltimore in that practice?
Just compete, man. Just seeing a new jersey and just going out there competing and playing hard with the guys and, just continuing to bond, continuing to gel, continuing to bring this thing together.
This is a big opportunity for us, especially the last week going in the training camp before roster cuts, anything, it's a big opportunity for us to go out there and, show what we can do against somebody else.
Another opportunity to compete with a different team, but what we're looking forward to, man, is of course playing to our standard, and like I said, man, continue getting the little things right, because we, try to get comfortable, and get prepared for week one.
If you watch the preseason game against the Lions, you notice Stephon Diggs, the stud wide receiver they brought in, he was wearing number 3. Well, so was veteran safety Will Harris, but he's not wearing it anymore. The team announced Tuesday morning that Will Harris has been released. Covering the Commanders in Ashburn, I'm J.P. Finley.
Ooh, one more note there. JP confirmed the Commanders will sign former Pro Bowl left tackle DJ Humphries to a 1-year deal. Why? Well, you may remember Washington lost star left tackle Laramie Tunsil to a torn tricep just a few weeks ago. All right, finally tonight, if you missed it, take a look now. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launch was visible in our area early this morning. Yeah, this rocket actually launched from Cape Canaveral down in Florida. This video was captured by one of our crews in Montgomery County early this morning. This rocket was streaking across the skies just before 5:40 a.m. It's amazing that it was visible here, all the way from Florida, going up the coastline there. By the way, in case you were wondering, yes, it was taking with it 29 Starlink satellites up into orbit. Pretty fascinating. All right. Well, that'll do it for the News 4 Rundown on this Tuesday night. Make sure you join Jim, me, and Doug right back here for News 4 at 11. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great evening, everybody.